Number 1. What correlation exists between anatomy of digestive tract and feeding habits of fishes? There is a strong correlation between the anatomical structure of digestive tract and the feeding habits of fish. Herbivorous fish that depend on fibrous food such as phytoplankton and microphages differ anatomically and behaviorally from carnivorous fish that consume meat and other more digestible feeds. Number 2, what are the four types of feeding behavior of fish in their natural habitat? There are four basic eating groups among fish: carnivores, herbivores, omnivores, and limnivores. Each group of fish needs to be found in particular way. Carnivores are meat-eating fish. Whilst they will never damage your plant life, you will be lucky if you do not find any of the smaller of is disappearing mysteriously. Number 3. What are the different parts of function of the digestive system of all fish? The structural component of a fish digestive system include the mouth, teeth, gills, racers, esophagus, stomach, pyloric caica, pancreatic tissue, isocrine and endocrine, liver, gallbladder, intestine, and anus. B. Crustacean, digestive system of the malacostracan crustaceans, namely the decapods, isopods, amphipods, and mysids, is among the most complex organ system of the animal kingdom, serving multiple functions such as food processing, absorption, and storage of nutrition, synthesis of digestive enzymes, and blood protein. Number 4. What are the four general configuration or shape of the of fish stomach? The muscles layer of the anterior part is striated and gradually replaced by smooth muscle posteriorly. The junction with the stomach is almost imperceptible. The stomach is usually the most muscular part of the tube and may have different shape: straight, J-shape, or U-shape. Some teleos, mainly behaviorous, micropagus, and detritivorous species, have no stomach. The stomach as longitudinal folds. Number 5. Discuss the relationship between a gut length and feeding habits of fishes. A strong relationship between gut length GL and the total length TL, significant relationship P for 52 species, was found whereas the hypothesis of the allometric growth of GL with TL was confirmed from 27 out of the 52 species. For the some TL, GL differ for species with different feeding habits in omnivores. Carnivores, as previously reported. Finally, for the same TLGL also differ for species with different habitats. Reef associated pelagic, bentopelagic, demersal, and gut types. Z-shape with multiple loops, Z-shape, straight, convoluted, short with spiral bulb. Number 6. Differentiate the four types of epithelial cell found in the hepatopancreatic tube of the crustaceans. Each tube consists of four cellular types: E. Embryonic, F. Fibrillar, R. Receptive, and B. Blister-like. E. Cell. have embryonic features, and some of them were found in mitosis. FR and B cell possess an apical brush border. F cell have a central or basal nucleus of conspicuous RER and dilated Golgi cystine are cell show a polar organization or organelle in three areas apical with numerous mitochondria and SER tubeless, a central area with a nucleus and RER, and a basal area containing a SER-like T-tube system and mitochondria. Number 7. Define and explain digestion. Digestion is the complex process of turning the food you eat into nutrients which the body uses for energy and growth and cell repairs needed to survive. The digestion process also involves creating waste to be eliminated. Number 8. Describe the step of and enzymes involved in A. Protein digestion. Protein digestion begins when you first start chewing. There are two enzymes in your saliva called amylase and lipase. They mostly break down carbohydrates and fats. Once a protein source reaches your stomach, hydrochloric acid or enzymes called protease break it down into smaller chains of amino acid. Letter B. Lipid digestion. Lipid digestion begin in the mouth, continues in the stomach, and end in the small intestine. Enzymes involved in triglycerol digestion are called lipase. EZ 313113. They are protein is the catalyze the partial hydrolysis of triglycerides into a mixture of free fatty acid and acylglycerols. Letter Z. Fish fillet. Ideal for a mined water feeder and fish feeding at the bottom of the aquarium. They are available in different size and in regular or slow sinking version. Their structure has a smooth surface and closed pores which enables slow water absorption, high hydrostability, and limited release of component into the water. Tablet for fish. Their great advantage is that they can be glued to the aquarium wall or placed at the bottom. They can be used to feed bottom fish crustacean as well as mid-water feeders. Fish stick. Floating food for medium and large species of fish that collect it from the water surface. Fish wafers. As the wafer weakly fall to the bottom, they will be the ideal food for crustacean and fish feeding in the bottom zone. This food absorb water slowly and thus retain its shape for a long time, which in turn make it an ideal food for fish whose mouth opening is adapted to scrape the food from different surface. Fish ships. Fish ships are shaped like a flat disc and are distinguished by their high hydrostability. Although they are mainly intended for a larger species, smaller specimens also have no problem with eating them. They simply bite them off piece by piece. Freeze-dried fish food. Freeze-dried food is a type of food that is somewhere in the middle between natural and artificial ingredient. It's made from crustacean larvae larvae, insect, and zooplankton free of water. The freeze-dried process consists of freezing these creatures and placing them in vacuum, which causes the water of evaporate so that the food retain its nutritional properties, taste, and smell. Natural foods. Natural food is considered to be the best solution for aquarium fish. When it comes to predatory fish, it means living organism and herbivorous aquarium inhabitants are sure to enjoy algae, vegetables, or aquatic plants. Finally, a handful of lips, small fish species, and those with small mouth holes should be fed with flakes and microgranules. Larger species that collect food from the water surface are best fed with chip and stick, while bottom fish eat flakes, pellets, tablets, or wafer. Number 11. Name some method in formulating the DINs. Give the advantage and disadvantage of each method. Weighing food records. Advantage. Consider the most precise of dietary intake assessment may be used to correlate precise intake with biomarker level. Disadvantage: high responded burdened by impact food or quantities that are selected may currently reflect intake during the study period but not habitual food intake or selection. Food diary or dietary records. Advantage may be more accurate for culture-specific food, unique foods, or dish or food that are consumed very rarely, less reliance on memory. Disadvantage: relatively high respondent burden may affect food or quantities that are selected. Patients then to record less diligently as the duration increase. 24 hours recall. Advantage can be completed by face-to-face interview or by telephone call. Be used with literate or illiterate population, reflect intake or previous day, so participants are less likely to alter eating behavior. Disadvantage: requires a skill interview, requires sufficient memory skill, can be affected by inadvertent or intentional reporting errors, seasonal variation, and day off all the weeks. Number 12. Why is it important to know the nutrients content of feed stuff and their level before one can start formulating feeds? Feed formulating essentially applied nutrients. A number of items and expressions are introduced that will be put to practical use as information is presented on the nature and quantities of various food stuff and the information presented on the nutrients requirements of fish. Precise understanding of this item is essential to their correct application. Letter C. Carbohydrate digestion in fish and crustacean. The fish has low ability in digestion of carbohydrate due to its specific carbohydrate enzymes. The effect of solubility and amylase on digestibility of different carbohydrates have been reported in silver perch. Number 9. Discuss the factor that may affect digestion and absorption of fish. Digestion is the process of hydrolysis and solubilization of nutrients into molecules suitable of transportation through the intestinal wall. Fish digestion begins in the esophagus, which is short and flexible enough to allow food transit, but lubrication and mechanical movement are required. For example, in the tilapia, Oreochromis niloticus, the oral cavity has mucus secreting gland lubricating the mouth and allowing better slowing beside muscle and adipose tissue responsible for the mouth function. Number 10. Explain the different stage in the feeding process in fish. Fish flick. This is the most popular types of fish food. It is universal, which means it is suitable for species feeding in all areas of the aquarium. First, it floats on the surface, then it falls down and dissolve all over the aquarium, giving the possibility to eat it. Two individual parts refers lower area. Number 13. Why is protein the first nutrient to be considered in formulation diet? Protein is usually the first nutrient considered, with the level of energy in the diet being adjusted to provide the optimum ratio. The protein has to be balanced for essential amino acid. It is the main constituent of the fish body. Animal sources are higher in protein than plant source. Number 14. Discuss factors to be considered and their importance in formulating a feed for a specific species. The main objective of feeds formulation is to utilize the knowledge of nutrients requirements locally available, feed ingredient and digestive capacity of fish for the development of a nutritionally balanced mixture of feed stuff. Number 15. Give at least 3 feed stuff that are good source of protein. Meat and meat product: beef, chicken, lamb, pork, and kangaroo. Fish and seafood: eggs. Letter B. Lipids. Common source are nuts, walnuts, hazelnuts, pecans, almond, and peanuts. Soybean oil, corn oil, safflower oil, flaxseed oil, canola oil, and fish trout, herring, and salmon. Saturated fat. This fat is found in animal product, is dairy product, palm and coconut oil, and cacao butter. Letter C. Carbohydrate. Dairy foods such as meal, beans, and pulse nuts. 16. Calculate the amount of fish meal and nice bran in diet that contain 30% protein. The protein content of fat, meat, and rice bran are 80% and 15% respectively. Solution. Fish meal 30%, 60% equals 0.5. 30% over 60% equals 3 equals 0.5 per rice branch. 30% 15% equals 2. 30% to 15% equals 30. 15% equals 2. 17. Use trial and error method in formulating diet that will contain not less than 35% protein, dietary lipid of not more than 10%, and dietary energy not less than 35 called 100G diet ingredients G. Number 18. What are the important things to consider in the preparation of aquafeeds? The species of fish race, its feeding behavior, feeding habits, pound size, stocking, density, temperature, and water quality. Number 19. Why do we need to process feed and feed ingredients? Number 20. Why is grinding of ingredients necessary step in feed preparation? Processing is performed in order to improve the digestibility of a food stuff, to extend the shelf life of a product, or to make use of byproduct of the human food industry, such as what with middling, soybean meal, and hulls, rice, branch, and beet palm. 21. Explain the importance of knowing the moisture content of feedstuff and feed, especially prior to storage. Moisture content in food can have a significant impact on factors such as the product taste, texture, appearance, shape, and weight. It has implication on legal and labeling requirements, economically importance requirements, the shelf life of the foods or foods product, foods quality measurements, and food processing operation. Deviation from the optimal moisture content can severely impact numerous qualities of the food product, which can have implication not only on product quality but also on its safety. For this reason, moisture content analysis has become a key component of the food industry. 22. What are some typical examples of anti-nutritional factor in feed ingredients and their effect on aquatic animals? How are these factors eliminated or minimized? Number 23. What is the purpose of floating, and how does one make floating and sinking feeds? The purpose of filleting is to take finely divided, sometimes dusty, unpalatable, and difficult to handle feed materials, and by using heat, moisture, and pressure form it into larger particles. Floating feeds. This type of feed floats on water. In general, floating feeds offer numerous advantages over their sinking counterpart. Sinking feeds. Sinking feeds are solid feeds pellets that submerge during application. They are more economical. Number 24. Explain briefly the basic step in small-scale feed preparation and compare these two steps in commercial feed preparation milling. Small-scale feed pellet plant is intended for small-scale creature feed pellet creature. Small-scale feed is a creature food, a feed hardware framework to deliver feed for animal dairy cow with small-scale feed pellet. Making matching, you can handle the dairy cattle feed for self-use by available to be purchased for business use, for contributing use, and software. The small-scale and pellet creation line delivered by ABC is generally sold at home and abroad, and has been generally welcomed by numerous clients and specialized and feed industry going through an exceptionally astonishing period of development for the following 10 years so we can close a small-scale feed steers and poultry feed fabricating fabricating business is a economically productive that tax for the most part this kind of assembling business. Re- request request to sorts of capital big venture. The initial step of a small scale feed pellets plant requires handling the natural substance to meet the prerequisite for feed pellet creation including size and dampness. And unrefined substances of various size are ground by the smasher to a proper size so they can be palletized subsequent to feeding the small scale. Feed banks should be cleared out to forestal any leftover silage which will rain. Debasing the following feed out silage can be given to creature in number of various plant in view of its structure and the variety and utilization of the creature. Number 25. What are the deleterious effects of spoilage and improper storage of feeds? Rancid lipids reduce feed extractability, potability, nutritional value, and produce toxic byproduct. The overall effect is a reduction in appetite, growth, and feed efficiently prolonged exposure to rancid feeds weaken the animal eventually leading to secondary disease and mortality.